Joining us on the print today is Telangana IT and Municipal Administration Minister KTR, also the working president of ruling party TRS. What's interesting is in its 21 years of existence, probably the first time TRS now has a political strategy team, IPAC, working with them for the upcoming elections. What is also interesting is Prashant Kishore is somewhere there in this picture, although there talks about him joining Congress. So yesterday you met Prashant Kishore. What exactly happened? Is he going to advise you, mentor you? What is the relationship Prashant Kishore now has with TRS or Telangana?
Well, Prashant Kishore, has been known to us for a while. We've met him several times in the last 7 years. So it's nothing new as such, in terms of meeting him, talking to him, because, he's, worked with many people across the country and, across the political spectrum. So therefore, I won't attribute too much significance to it. But the fact is, an institution that he had founded in the past has now, and with which he has no association at this point in time, has now decided to work with us, and we have decided to work with them. So as far as IPAC and Prashant Kishore is concerned, I think they have no relation whatsoever. So what Prashant does in his own individual capacity is none of my business, and I would rather not ask that. With IPAC, yes, we are working, and we'll see how they can help us in terms of our reach, in terms of our messaging, in terms of other things that they've learned from various elections that they've run.
Right. So if Prashant Kishore has joined Congress, will it not be a conflict of interest? Like, how can he work with Congress at the same time? How can he help you back in the state to fight Congress?
I just made it very clear that Prashant has no relation with IPAC. So therefore, where is the conflict of interest?
So, but if you met him yesterday, what happened in the meeting yesterday?
See, Prashant and I, we have been meeting several times. Just that, I've disclosed it to you yesterday doesn't mean we have not met in the past. We have discussed several things. We've discussed contemporary politics and what is happening across the country, etc., etc. Some of which, of course, I'm not going to disclose to you. So therefore, these are ongoing conversations.
Achha, whose idea was it to get a political strategy team this time? There's a lot of talk that you probably pitched this idea to KCR that we should probably have IPAC. So whose idea was that?
No, not really, because see, every party has to realize, we have to change with changing times. We didn't need a strategist in the past. We didn't need a team working for us in the past because, as a party that has delivered statehood to Telangana, I think the people were mighty happy with our performance over the last 14 years before 2014. So they've elected us. And the first term, the government has really delivered well, and I think number of promises that we have kept have propelled us back into the driving seat in 2018 as well. Since 2018 till now, we've continued to work hard and continue to deliver on the promises. But the fact is, a 10-year-old kid back in 2014 is now a voter. Yeah. Now, ours is a traditional political party which has never relied on these kind of strategies in the past. But the millennials, the generation especially, which is in the age group of 18 to 25, I think these guys also need to know the various facets of the party, how this party was founded, why it was founded, what it has done, what it has delivered, and what is happening across the country as well. So therefore, in light of all this, in terms of how we reach this, young crowd, it is, I think, important that we engage, these objective outsiders.
A lot of focus on BJP by KCR or by the party. You've been talking against the union government. So if, there's also a lot of federal front focus, national party focus and all of that. In the upcoming Gujarat polls, will TRS campaign against BJP in Gujarat? Do you have any such plans?
Well, let me firstly point out that we don't criticize somebody for the sake of criticism. We have been pointing out certain deficiencies that this government, certain deficiencies of this government, certain promises that they've made but have not kept. For instance, Prime Minister Modi had made a promise to the farmers of this nation that he will double their income by 2022. Right. Is it wrong to ask if the promise has been kept? Prime Minister Modi also had promised to the poor of this country that they would all get housing for all by 22. Has it been kept? Prime Minister Modi also made a categorical promise that he's going to bring black money back and deliver 15 lakh rupees to each and every one of these poor, voters that voted for him. Has it been kept? Prime Minister Modi also said by 2022, bullet trails will be seen in India. So I can go on.
So will this be reflected in Gujarat polls and will you campaign against BJP?
See, Gujaratis are one of the most enterprising and one of the most progressive people. I'm sure they've also seen the Golmaal Gujarat model, which, Prime Minister Modi harped on before 2014. So I think they don't need our support. I think they'll vote him out.
So no campaigning there, no plans of
Like
campaigning.
I said, I mean, you just asked me the question. I have not thought about it. Neither did KCR Garu, I'm sure. Since you are a proactive thinker, you asked me the question. Let me mull over it.
You'll mull over it. Okay. So, let's talk about movies. I'm specifically asking you this because we've had a discussion about this in the past of how movies or social media, you said the ruling party at the center, uses to, kind of put their propaganda forward. So, Kashmir Files has received a lot of criticism. Have you watched that movie?
No, I don't watch propaganda films, firstly, because I think all the production houses, which are aligned with the Bharatiya Janata Party or its affiliated houses, have been indulging in this for a while. It's nothing new. I mean, even before the last election, you see a spate of movies which talk about Desh Bhakti and how Prime Minister is, waiting sleeplessly to see that Pakistan airstrike has happened or whatever. That I watched, by the way, Yuri. So all of these, with this propaganda machinery at its work, is something that the country needs to also realize, because the real issues of this country are not addressed. So to hoodwink, to divert, to basically draw attention to other things, to make emotions run high, all these practices. And I think Kashmir Files was one such, and there are many in the works. In fact, I think there is a movie coming, Adipurush, I think is also in the works. I'm sure it will coincide with the launch of the Ram Mandir at Ayodhya. So all these, I'm sure, are coincidences, mere coincidences.
When you say many, how many of such movies do you think?
I'm told about 15 are in the making, so I'm sure you'll see them and I will also see them.
All right. A lot of talk about KCR's focus on the federal front, national and all of that. Modi wants a Congress Mukt Bharat. So will TRS also first focus on a Congress Mukt Bharat? Because where are we at the national front? How many parties are on board? What's happening?
See, we've tried our hand at a federal front, prior to 2019. Unfortunately, it did not take off. I mean, there's no denying that. Even now, we believe very firmly that both national parties, Congress and the BJP, have been a miserable letdown for the nation. So therefore, to present a credible alternative is going to take time, but the Honorable Chief Minister of Telangana is seized of it. He believes that what we have delivered in 7 years in Telangana, drinking water connection to each and every home, power to all, 24/7 free power to the farmers, world's largest lift irrigation project being completed in a span of 4 years. All these are exemplary, practices and exemplary performance, which I'm sure will keep the country also in good stead. So we will present the Telangana model also to the country, and we will ask the countrymen to juxtapose what has been presented to them in the past, and then possibly, take inspiration from it for the rest of the nation as well.
A lot of buzz and curiosity about when is KTR going to take over? When is KTR going to take over? And will the next election be fought under KTR or KCR's leadership? Where are we on that? When are you going to take over?
Well, there has been never any such indication from the party per se. Since we are all in the age of 24/7 channels, and I think 365/12 digital media also, I think you guys have to run some stories and create a bit of a buzz. So therefore, we've said it in the past and we'll say it again. We are extremely grateful for KCR Garu for his leadership. The next election will of course be fought under his leadership, and I hope that he will remain healthy, strong, and continue to lead the state for at least the next couple of decades.
But what if he wants to go to Delhi and play a national role? Then
Like I
what
said,
is going to
you
happen?
can be in Hyderabad and also play a national role. It is not imperative that you actually shift to Delhi to play the national role. So we'll see what future has in store for us. But one thing's for sure, as a citizen of this great nation, we certainly believe that there is a role for all of us to play, and I hope that the people of this country will give us a chance.
Right. Quick last two questions I've had. Yesterday you'd mentioned that your focus is more of getting party to power. It's okay even if you don't get a minister post next time. Are you still sticking?
Absolutely. In fact, without a question, because I think what is more important for us to realize is, see, in 2006 when I joined this party, never in my wildest of dreams did I imagine that I actually will be a minister one day. Now, I've been a minister for 8 long years. I think I've had my share. If Honorable CM decides that somebody else needs to be given the chance, I'm more than happy to relegate it and pass it on. And I'd be thrilled if TRS actually is voted back. And if I get a chance in the government, well and good. If I don't, I'll continue to work for the party as an ordinary worker.
Right. You mentioned 2023 is the election year for Telangana. How soon in 2023?
Soon enough.
That how soon? Months enough or what?
Like I said, none of us is a Jyotish, none of us is an astrologer. And you also need to save some breath and space for future interviews.
The party has started work already?
everyone has to work. I think in today's world, electioneering is a 24/7 thing, and there's no respite.
Right, fair enough. Thank you so much for speaking to The Print. The target this time TRS has is actually connecting to first-time voters, not missing out on the digital medium, which is also one of the reasons why they've gotten a political strategy team on board. This is Rishika Sadam for The Print from Hyderabad.